Hi everyone, it's Miss May, and I am back for part 2 of our Ask a Marine Scientist video series. I am very excited to introduce to you a few familiar faces you might have seen in the first video, as well as some new faces with even more answers to your ocean science questions. So let's get started.
Hi, I'm Megzie Seipel. I'm a research fisheries biologist at NOAA's Alaska Fisheries Science Center in Seattle, Washington. This is my research assistant, Loki. I'm here to answer Julian's question, where does the biggest whale live? Well, Julian, if you are a fan of whales, which it sounds like you might be, you probably know that the biggest whale is the blue whale. Not only is the blue whale the biggest whale, it is the biggest creature to ever have lived on planet Earth. That is really big. That includes the dinosaurs. They get up to be 115 feet long, which is about 3 school buses. And because they're so big, they need a really big habitat. So you can find blue whales anywhere in the world except the Arctic Ocean. They like to eat krill, so they're usually sort of close to the surface, and in the summer months, they can be found down near the ice edge in Antarctica, feasting on krill. Then, in the winter, they move to lower latitudes, closer to the tropics. One of the cool things about blue whales that is a function of their giant size and their giant habitat is that they make really loud noises. A blue whale's call can be heard up to 500 miles away from the source. So, big sound, big creature, big habitat.
Someone else asked, how much pressure is in the deepest part of the ocean? Well, considering the deepest part of the ocean is in the Mariana Trench and is 36,000 feet deep, there's going to be a lot of pressure. It's about 15,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. That's like a really big elephant standing on a postage stamp. So lots of pressure.
Hi, I'm also going to be answering Joanna's question. Are there any animals that we don't know about yet? That's a great question, Joanna, and there are definitely animals that we don't know about yet. According to scientists, there's more than 80% of the ocean that humans haven't explored yet, and more than 90% of those species in that ocean are still unknown. That is a whole lot of ocean and a lot of species. We learn about new species every year. One new species discovered last year was a species of comb jelly called Duobrachium sparksei. It had super long tentacles and moved around like a hot air balloon. And this was also a unique finding because the scientists only used video footage to find it. That means that no humans were actually around to see this species in person. There are lots of new ways to explore the parts of the ocean humans haven't seen yet, and tons of new animals to learn about.
Hello, my name is Claire Gonzalez, and I'm a PhD student at UC Santa Barbara. Today, I'm going to answer a question from Isaiah, who would like to know, how do waves come to us? Well, Isaiah, that's a great question. If any of you have ever had a chance to go to the ocean, something that you'll see is waves crashing onto the beach over and over again. So, what causes waves? Well, most of the time, waves are created from the wind. As winds move, they actually push on the surface of the ocean and eventually create the waves that we see on the beach. Also, if you've ever had a big bowl of soup or a mug of hot cocoa and you blow on it to cool it down, it will create little waves that are similar to the ones that we see in the ocean. And I'm going to demonstrate that for you right now. So here I have my cup of blue water that is going to be my ocean today. And I'm going to be the wind, and I'm going to blow on it and hopefully create some waves that are similar to the ones that we see on the beach. So everyone at home can just look at right here. This will be the surface of our ocean, and I'm going to blow on it, and we'll see what happens. And there you have it. That's my little wave machine. I hope you guys were able to see some of the waves that we caused from just blowing on the surface of the water. And if I had a really big glass of water, like the ocean is, and I blew on it a lot harder, like the wind does, I think we'd create some pretty good waves. So I hope this is helpful, Isaiah. That was a really good question, and thank you so much for letting me share.
Hey, my name's Kai Kopecki. I'm a PhD student here at UCSB. It's right behind me. This question was asked by Ruby, and I think this is a really important, really smart question. Will the Great Barrier Reef vanish, or can it vanish? It's really important because coral reefs are kind of in danger right now as the Earth's climate is changing. You may have heard about climate change. Coral reefs are really, vulnerable to this. That means that they don't do so well when the water gets too hot or changes too much. And what can happen is corals will bleach. They'll lose their color. They won't be able to produce their own energy, and then they can die sometimes. And sometimes this happens over really big areas like the Great Barrier Reef. This has happened a lot on the Great Barrier Reef in the last few years, which has got a lot of people really worried. That being said, I don't think that it will just completely vanish. I think it will definitely change a little bit. It might not look the way that it always has. It might change so that some corals that do better in hot water and they're healthier when the water gets too hot, they might become a little more common, and some other corals that you may have seen on the Great Barrier Reef in videos or photos or maybe even in person, you might not see those quite so much anymore. But I don't think that means it's going to vanish, especially because there are a lot of people, hopefully like you, Ruby, who are really concerned about this and are trying to figure out ways to save the reefs and prevent them from disappearing altogether. That's actually basically what I do as a researcher here at UCSB. I study how coral reefs are able to recover and what keeps them healthy and what keeps them from vanishing. So there are a lot of people who are working on this, and there are a lot of really cool ideas and solutions to that problem that are being worked on right now, and hope maybe at some point you'll join us and help us figure out how to solve that and keep the reefs alive.
That concludes part 2 of our Ask a Marine Scientist video. I hope that you all enjoyed watching, and again, I would like to extend a special thank you to all of the scientists who participated and to you for your ocean curiosity. As a scientist, it is my entire job to ask new questions about the ocean and try and find new solutions to problems that are occurring. So by asking these questions, you are all one step closer to becoming ocean scientists yourself.